Hi all. In the module 4, let us discuss the topic today as scheduling and resource allocation. So, what is the aim of scheduling and resource allocation? That is nothing but to allocate the available radio resources. Okay. So, why we want to allocate the radio resources to user equipment in the sense to optimize the certain that is to optimize the performance metric with constraint to the quality of service requirement. So this is the main aim of scheduling and resource allocation. This scheduling algorithm we are going to divide into two categories. That is, first one is the channel dependent scheduling and the another is the channel independent scheduling. So channel dependent scheduling. So what we will do in this algorithm, based on the channel condition, we are going to allocate the resource block to user equipment. So now again you will get what is meaning of channel condition. For example, we will call the proportional rate of fairness scheduler, or we will can say this is maximum of carrier interference scheduler. Such a way we can differentiate or say the channel conditions. Okay. The next here, what we are going to do in the sense, there is a downlink shared channel and uplink shared channel transport, and each will be by the transit time interval. So why we wanted to do both with the transit time interval in the sense, to make a better channel selectivity packet scheduler in the node B. Okay. Then followed by this, we will go for the uh, channel quality indicator reporting. Here we are using a scheduling, but it will depends on the channel information. That is, we know that traffic is there, quality of service requirement is there. So depends upon all this, the scheduler will be giving the CQI will give the report. So and also we are using a orthogonal frequency division multiple access or the single carrier frequency division multiple access. Here in this LTE, because of the usage of this OFDMA as well as the SCFDMA, the time and frequency domain will be variation. That is a variation. That is the major advantage in the LTE, which we can compare with the HSPA in 3G. Okay. So the next is the channel independent scheduler, so algorithm. So what do you mean by channel independent? Here we follow the uh, round robin scheduler, right? We will call this as round robin scheduler. What do you mean by round robin? That is nothing but we will allocate the resource block to user equipment in a random manner. Okay? In a random manner. So in here in this scheduling, in this algorithm, we will integrate the technique like link adaptation and the HARQ processes. And this algorithm is a vendor type one and not it is like a standardized one. The next we will see what will happen in the multi carrier system. Okay, so the multi carrier system, the channel dependent is divided into two categories. That is nothing but frequency diverse scheduling as well as the frequency selective scheduling. So if we go for the frequency diverse scheduling, here we will use the wideband CQI for the selection of user equipment, and we will allocate the physical resource block in random in the frequency domain. Okay, so why we want to do all those things in randomly, why we want to allocate the PRB allocation in the frequency domain should be random in the sense it will help us to give a better time selectivity and the frequency diversity of the channel. And next we will see the frequency selective scheduling. Here we will use the wideband CQI as well as the subband CQI for the selection of user equipment. Okay, here but the allocation of resource block is based on only the subband CQI. Here also it will give both the time and the frequency selectivity of the channel in a better way. Now we have studied the scheduling algorithm and all those things. Next we will see how the signaling scheduling, no? Scheduling in downlink and uplink, how signal is going to be used, that we will see here. In this, here any of the resources will be allocated to a user equipment in both downlink as well as the uplink. Okay, and here we are having some resource assignments, that is nothing but assigned time and frequency resources, and then there is some transmission format which will convey the information through the downlink control signaling. Okay. Here the minimum resource will be allocated in time domain as well as the frequency domain. The duration for time domain is 1 millisecond and in the frequency domain is 180 kilohertz. So what is the use of allocating this in the sense? If you allocate this type of domains, we can decode the downlink control channel, any corresponding downlink shared channel to the respective combinations. Okay. The next we will see signaling for uplink scheduling. So in the uplink we are very much aware about that channel status information is very important. So at the E node B, the channel status information is estimated using the sound reference signal. Okay, here to find the possible allocation for uplink transmission, the user equipment wants to monitor the downlink control channel. Okay, so that the resource blocks can be allocated to a user equipment for the uplink transmission as well as the SCFDMA nature of all transmission. And also wherever needed, to suppose if we are in a need to provide a additional diversity, we can use a frequency hopping process here. So frequency hopping is nothing but change of frequency in inter subframe to or intra subframe. Okay, the next we will see. So now we want to determine the modulation order, redundancy version and transport block size. For this, the user equipment should read the 5-bit modulation and coding scheme and the redundancy version field in the DCI. So what the DCI? For example, if user equipment detect a downlink control channel with DCI format 0 in the subframe N, it will adjust the corresponding uplink shared channel transmission in subframe N plus 4 accordingly. Okay, so this is happening in the signaling uplink. So if we see the multi-user, multi-input, multi-output signaling, in what way it can be done? Let us see in the multi-user, multi-input, multi-output signaling. Here, two user equipment should transmit orthogonal reference signals for E node B to separate them. Okay, so for this, uplink resource allocation is indicated on the downlink control channel using the DCI format 0. So, but this DCI format 0 will contains a 3-bit field to indicate cyclic shift in the reference signal which is used by the user equipment. Okay. This is happening in the uplink. So for the uplink, the multi-user also we are allocating for uplink as well as downlink. So this DCI format 0 with 3-bit field by to indicate the cyclic shift. No, that is happening in the uplink. Let us see what will happen in the downlink. Okay, so in the downlink, on the same physical resource, we are considering the same physical resource, but two rank 1 user equipment is used. Okay, two rank 1 user equipment are multiplexed here, and power to each user equipment will be reduced by the 3 dB. And here the indicated, it is indicated by the power offset field. That is, power offset field is DCI format ID. Okay, this is used for the MIMO scheduling. Okay, so this is the way we are going to schedule and we are going to allocate the resource. The next, okay, hope I everybody understood this scheduling and the resource allocation concept. Thank you.